based on the end of the world. We have chaos, natural disasters, radioactivity, people with no food, violence, and the end is near. You know, the end is near, like they say on the trailers. But we have a hero here, and he's gonna save the world. Or not, because one night after you shoot the final scene, one night before you shoot the final scene, he's collapsed. He's in panic, he can't move, he can't do nothing. Because he don't believe that he's able, as a human being, to save the world, you know? So, let's pretend that I am this actor. Arnold and James, what do you say to me to make me believe that we can really save the world?
First of all, since you're talking about a science fiction movie, right?
Yeah.
I would immediately go and say that we have the ability of going into a time machine.
Right.
And we will be traveling back. And we will now analyze where the mistakes were made. And then we will correct them. And we will go as quickly as possible on renewable energy. We go as quickly as possible uniting all of the countries, the developing world and the developed countries, everyone uniting and fighting this problem together, recognizing that we have made mistakes by relying too much on fossil fuels in the first place. And we will do something that is very important that hasn't been done, to direct the environmental community not to go and rely so much on making people feel guilty. When you drive a big car, when you fly a plane, or when you take a jacuzzi, or when you watch TV on a flat screen TV, oh my God, you're using too much energy, this is terrible, and you make you feel guilty. That doesn't work, it has not worked yet, the Al Gore philosophy. But also at the same time, what hasn't worked is to go and use fear. To tell people, he says, if you continue like this, the sea levels are rising, and we're going to be wiping out all these countries, and it's going to be disaster. That hasn't worked either. And science, to talk a lot of mumbo-jumbo science dialogue, hasn't worked either because it goes right over people's heads. So what we would do is we will go and form a great partnership between government that creates good policy and the private sector, and to do what James Cameron has been extremely doing well and has been an expert in, is how do you communicate and get so many millions and millions and millions of people to see his movies. There's no government involved, but they're going to see the movie. So what I'm saying is we have to do a much better job in communicating to the mass, because it's not government and it is not a capital. No movement, world movement, has ever been created in a capital, not in Moscow, not in Paris, not in London, not in Berlin, nor in Washington, or Beijing or anywhere else. It's all based on grassroots level operation. So when the ordinary folks are not involved, if you don't draw them in and make them passionate about this subject and make the idea of being green sexy, that's how you get people involved. That's when you bring everyone together and you can have a very successful movement going, like the suffrage movement, or the women's movement, or the civil rights movement in America. All of those things started on a grassroots level because people got emotionally drawn in and involved. That is what we have to do. And so we can be talking about 12% versus 20%, the hydro versus solar and all this. But in the end, we got to get people involved, everyday people, so when you walk up and down the street, they know exactly what we are talking about. Because even the name of this conference is sustainability. Ask the people in Brazil, up and down Brazil, if they understand and can define the word sustainability. What does it really mean? I can guarantee you, I can go in Los Angeles up and down, and most of the people will not give you the right answer. So therefore, how do you get them involved? So those are the kind of questions. So I will go into the time machine, roll back, and correct the mistakes, and then we will have a good outcome. Jim?
You better let her go.
Nós vamos fazer a tradução depois.